Act as if nothing affects you. And after 4 days, thank me, Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie believed that one of the greatest forms of power a human being can develop is emotional control. Not the absence of feelings, but the ability to remain internally stable while the world around you shakes. He used to say that most people lose not because of lack of intelligence, opportunity, or effort, but because they allow external events to dictate their internal state. The world is unpredictable. Problems arise, people disappoint, plans fail, criticism appears, and unexpected obstacles show up without warning. Most individuals react automatically. Something happens and their mood changes. Someone speaks and their confidence drops. A delay occurs and anxiety takes over. Carnegie observed this pattern repeatedly. He saw talented people sabotage themselves simply because they could not control their reactions. He understood something powerful. Your reaction to events shapes your future more than the events themselves. When Carnegie said, act as if nothing affects you, he did not mean becoming cold, distant, or emotionless. He meant developing the ability to maintain internal command, to observe situations without immediately surrendering your mind to them. He believed that the moment you allow an external event to control your emotional state, you lose strategic clarity. In business, in leadership, and in life, clarity is everything. Carnegie noticed that people who prosper remain steady under pressure. They do not rush into decisions when emotions are high. They do not collapse under criticism. They do not celebrate too early when something goes well, nor despair too deeply when something goes wrong. Their emotional level stays balanced, and because of that, their decisions stay intelligent. Most people don't fail because life is too hard. They fail because they are too reactive. Carnegie trained himself to pause before responding. If a deal collapsed, he did not panic. If someone doubted him, he did not feel the need to defend himself immediately. If the market shifted, he did not allow fear to guide him. He would observe, assess, and then act with calm precision. This emotional neutrality gave him a massive advantage over those who operated in emotional extremes. He believed that when you react impulsively, you give away power. When you remain calm, you keep control. Now imagine applying this for just 4 days. 4 days of refusing to let minor frustrations dictate your mood. 4 days of not reacting to small provocations. 4 days of staying composed when things do not go your way. 4 days of observing before speaking. 4 days of choosing response instead of reaction. Carnegie believed that this simple shift can change the direction of a life. Because when you stop reacting to everything, you gain space. Space to think. Space to choose. Space to act intentionally. That space is where intelligent decisions are made. Most mistakes happen in emotional speed. Anger makes you speak too soon. Fear makes you retreat too early. Excitement makes you commit too fast. Emotional instability distorts judgment. Carnegie knew that mastering this internal balance is not weakness. It is strength in its most refined form. And here is what happens when you practice this for several days. Your mind begins to detach from noise. You start to see situations more objectively. You realize that many things that seemed urgent are not important. You notice that many conflicts are not worth your energy. Your decisions become cleaner, more strategic, less emotional. People around you will also change their behavior. When others see that you cannot be easily provoked, manipulated, or destabilized, they treat you differently. You appear stronger, more mature, more reliable. Emotional stability commands respect without words. Carnegie understood that power is quiet. Chaos is loud. The more stable your inner state becomes, the less external chaos influences your direction. You stop wasting energy on emotional turbulence and start directing that energy toward construction, toward progress, toward long-term goals. Another effect begins to appear. Your confidence grows. Not the loud, performative confidence that depends on praise, but the silent confidence that comes from self-command. You start trusting your ability to handle situations without losing yourself. Carnegie believed that a person who cannot control their emotions cannot control their future. When you act as if nothing affects you, you are not denying reality. You are choosing your position within reality. You are saying, I decide how I respond. That decision alone changes outcomes. Because life does not only test your skills, It tests your emotional discipline. And here comes the deeper transformation that most people do not expect. After several days of practicing this, you begin to notice patterns you never saw before. You see how often others act out of fear, pride, insecurity, or impulse. You see how many decisions in the world are made emotionally rather than rationally. And because you are calmer, you are no longer pulled into those patterns. You start to become a stabilizing force. In negotiations, you will see who is desperate. In conversations, you will see who is insecure. In opportunities, you will see who is rushing. Your calmness becomes your advantage. You can think longer, observe better, and choose wiser. Carnegie believed this is where true influence begins. Not through force, not through noise, but through emotional steadiness. A person who remains centered while others are unstable naturally becomes a point of reference. People trust them more. They listen more. They follow more. And over time, this emotional discipline builds something even more valuable: resilience. Life will always bring challenges. But when you stop letting every challenge disturb your inner state, you become harder to break. Setbacks feel smaller. Criticism feels lighter. Delays feel temporary. You stop taking everything personally, and you start seeing everything strategically. Carnegie's idea was simple, but profound. Emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings. It is about not allowing feelings to control decisions. So act as if nothing affects you. Not because nothing matters, but because your stability matters more. Do this for 4 days, and you will start noticing a shift. Your mind will feel clearer. Your decisions will feel stronger. Your presence will feel more grounded. And your life will begin to respond differently, not because the world changed, but because you did. That is the power Andrew Carnegie understood. When the mind becomes steady, the future becomes manageable.